Ready to go?
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Passaic County Board of Chosen Freeholder meeting this Tuesday, May 26, 2015. Begin with our conference agenda, and at this point, I'm going to call upon the clerk to the board, Mr. Lou M. Hoff, for a roll call.
Freeholders: Bartlett. Here. Best. Here. Catronio. Here. Duffy. Here. Lepore. Deputy Director James. Here. Director Laura.
Here. At this point, we're going to call upon our administrator, Mr. Anthony DeNova, for the administrative report, as well as the presentations. We have some very special presentations this evening.
Well, we are honored to have our assignment judge, Judge Capicella, here this evening to make a presentation along with our freeholder director to the 2015 winner of the high school level New Jersey State Bar Association Law Day YouTube contest. So, Your Honor, if you want to come to the podium.
Are we showing the video?
Yes, I'll show the video.
Oh, we have the video.
Okay.
Before we get started, we have a video that we're going to show. We're going to ask everyone to please pay attention to the screen. Okay. Now we're also going to show the other two. We had, I believe this is the runner-up, Lou? Second place, who's actually from Clifton, New Jersey.
You're 100 years old now. I wonder if you know what you can do. Welcome, my child. I've been expecting you. Tell me, my child, what have you achieved so far?
Well, on June 15, 1215, I was signed by King John in an agreement against his becoming of an absolute ruler. The king is now bound by law because of me.
That's great. What brings you here then?
I'm anxious to see what my future holds.
Well, let's see. From you, I see many things being born.
What could possibly come from me?
Because of you, in 1689, a document called the English Bill of Rights will be created. Parliament members will be given freedom of speech, and courts will be free of injustice.
Clause 20 establishes no cruel and unusual punishment from the government. The English Bill of Rights models this idea.
You will also lay the roots for a new country to arise, the United States of America. Through you, the founders of this nation will come together in recognition of natural rights.
The idea of natural rights holds that all men are created equal, and that all are given the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These thoughts originated from the Magna Carta.
I also see from you a great document called the Constitution. This will be the model of many nations to give people rights under the government.
Really? Like what?
Because of you, men are guaranteed their individual rights, the right to travel, the right to a fair trial, and guaranteed to be treated fairly in judicial systems.
Because of these clauses from the Magna Carta, these principles exist in our world today.
Really? All that because of me?
Yes, all of this greatness, achievement, and freedom will come from you. Your greatness is so abundant that it will be mentioned for centuries to come.
Centuries ago, when kings, emperors, and warlords reigned over much of the world, it was the English who first spelled out the rights and liberties of man in the Magna Carta. It was here, in this very hall, where the rule of law first developed. Citizens came to petition their leaders.
Kushard, are you here? Kushard, you want to come up, please? I just want to tell you the significance of this. Needless to say, he won the New Jersey State Bar Association contest for this video, and he was #1 in the state. And what that really means is this: there are 21 vicinages like ours in the state of New Jersey, and I know for this particular event there were over 15 submissions from some very, very tough schools. And these videos, not only are they accurate, not only are they moving, they're done by our kids. And that's great. I mean, that shows the standards here in Passaic County. It's the standards that we have in the judiciary, and to see our students following that same tradition is just outstanding. So on behalf of the Chief Justice, on behalf of the New Jersey Supreme Court and Superior Court, I want to congratulate you for this recognition. and they took, Passaic County VOTEC came in first, and Clifton came in second. So that is a very, very powerful showing. And if we can just keep this going, it just proves to the rest of the state that Passaic County is a very, very special place. I mean, I think we're just starting to realize that now. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to get the freeholders? We can call the freeholders down for a picture.
Next on the agenda, I'm going to call upon Freeholder T.J. Best to make a presentation and proclamation for the participation of Montclair State University's Upward Bound project.
Very excited to make this particular proclamation Montclair State University
Give me his
as well as the director of the program. I myself am a product of Upward Bound. To William Patterson University's Upward Bound program. And then in college, one of my first jobs was working in the Upward Bound program at Stevens Institute. And I see here we actually have one of our students from Passaic County Tech who's been accepted into Stevens Institute, which is outstanding. So I'm just going to call up now the director and all of the students for the program who are here. If you guys want to come up and join me. Put your hands together for them when they come up, and then I'll tell you why in a second. How you guys doing? Okay. All right. Whereas the Passaic County Board of Chosen Freeholders has the desire to recognize the high school students who have successfully completed the Upward Bound project sponsored by Montclair State University and have been accepted into institutions of higher education for the fall 2015. And whereas the Upward Bound project delivers educational opportunities for currently enrolled high school students who come from low-level income families and who are potentially first-generation college students, it provides fundamental support for participants to succeed in their current level of education as well as preparing them for their pursuit of higher education. It emphasizes is made on the adolescents, as I need glasses, by offering additional support via tutoring, counseling, mentoring, cultural enrichment activities, trips, workshops, financial literacy, and personal development. And whereas Montclair State University has proudly declared that all of the 21 participating seniors in this program have been accepted into institutions of higher education. And whereas their families, community, county, and state have every reason to be proud of their outstanding achievement, and the board joins with Montclair State University in celebrating this monumentous occasion. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic that it publicly acknowledge and extends its most heartfelt congratulations to the students who have successfully completed the Upward Bound project and have been accepted into institutions of higher education, and be it further proclaimed that this board expresses its sincere best wishes for continued success in future endeavors. I'll ask the Assistant Director to say a couple words.
Good evening. My name is Nelson Rodriguez. I'm the Assistant Director for the Upper Brown Project at Montclair State University. And we are extremely proud to have two of our representatives here from the class of 2015. We have Mr. Salman Saqib from Passaic County Technical Institute, who will be attending Rutgers University, majoring in engineering this fall. And then we have Gabriel Jimenez, who attends Don Bosco, and he'll be attending Montclair State University. I'm an alum, so I'm very happy about that, studying biology. We're very proud and we're very happy to be here, and again, thank you very much to the freeholders for acknowledging the hard work that the 21 of our high school students put in to get to college.
No.
That's it.
Thank you. You guys want to say anything? Thank your parents? Come on, thank your parents. Come on. You better do it. Thank your parents.
Like Mr. Rodriguez said, my name is Gabriel Jimenez, and here I have my father, Hector Jimenez, and there's not much you can say for a man that's tried his hardest to put his son through a private education, which I'm sure many of the parents here know. It's no easy task, especially for someone that wants to accomplish so much like me, and I want to go on to further schooling, and that's going to be extremely expensive on not only me, but him. So for him to be able to find a program like this and to be able to put me in, set me on a right path to do that is really something. So thank you, Dad.
My name is Salman Saqib, and today I have my father and my brother with me here to celebrate this great achievement. And I would like to thank them so much for being there throughout all my hardships and to be there to support my goals and my aspirations. And as much as I would like to thank my parents, I would also like to thank Mr. Rodriguez and my second family at Upward Bound for being there for me also. So thank you. Thank you.
Now we got a copy for each one of you guys, okay?
Did you know that she still was
Where's the director? We're gonna get our director in here. There we go.
Do you want me to coordinate? No. Directly with you?
Okay, well, you're up.
You want me to coordinate your calendar to set up a meeting directly with you, Stacy, Henry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pick up your gum. I'm going to make you. Sure. Baker from
You told him.
You can't think of it like I used to. You notice that part?
Okay, next on the agenda is some presentations and proclamations recognizing Passaic County businesses and all that they do. The first one is Miss Kathy Kelly, owner of Belmont Bakery in North Haledon. Much of my girlish figure I get from Belmont Bakery. Thank you very much.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
Hi. Thank you very much.
Okay, bear with me. You have to say a couple words at some point, whether you like it or not. You didn't bring any donuts or anything?
Afraid not. That's
Nothing? Perhaps another time. Little shout out to Don Bosco. I'm a 71 graduate. And we beat Bergen last week, huh? Not bad.
1871, by the way.
You sure you don't pay donuts?
I'm definitely unprepared.
Whereas, Passaic County Board of Chosen Freeholders is committed, I'm sorry, ready? It's my first time, I'm a little nervous. Whereas, Passaic County Board of Chosen Freeholders is committed to maintaining and improving the quality of life for its business community, ensuring access to capital, excellent transportation routes, and an educated, skilled labor force. Whereas this board is particularly proud of its business community and its accomplishments, and as such desires to honor and promote the Belmont Bakery. And whereas the Belmont Bakery, founded by Roger Parcells, has been in business since 1973 for over 42 years in its current two-story location, 1237 Belmont Ave, North Haledon. The current owner is Catherine Kelly, who has opened the bakery since 1981. The company employs a staff of 25 bakers, wedding cake consultants, store staff, sales associates, and many of whom have been with the company for 15 to 20 years. Whereas the Belmont Bakery is a full-time bakery offering cooks, breads, cakes, pastries, not tonight evidently, as both retail and wholesale customers, whereas the bakery specializes in the creation of special occasion cakes, sculptured cakes, and fondant cakes for weddings, communions, baby showers, gender reveal cakes, and graduations. Special bridal cake experts consult with the brides to ensure the creation of a one-of-a-kind wedding cakes for their special day. And whereas customers visit in person or order by telephone and the internet from throughout the region, including northern New Jersey, shore communities, New York City, company's website, and the use of Facebook have helped to boost sales and expand their customer base and trade area. Wholesale baked goods are also supplied to local companies such as Valley Hospital, Bagel Stores, and the Tides, providing unique wedding cakes for their brides. And whereas Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's are an extremely busy time for the bakery with cookie trays in high demand, the bakery is also busy in the spring, helping customers celebrate graduations, wedding, communions. The bakery frequently offers special baking demonstrations for local nonprofit organizations such as the Girl Scouts of America. Whereas the Belmont Bakery has demonstrated its commitment to the County of Passaic through the employment of local residents, the continued reinvestment in their company, and their strong leadership. Now this is my favorite part. It's like the Wizard of Oz, as my colleagues know this. Now therefore it be proclaimed by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic that it hereby publicly presents the Passaic County Business Appreciation Award to the Belmont Bakery for its continued commitment to the community. And be it further proclaimed that this board extends its sincere best wishes to the Belmont Bakery for its continued success. Congratulations, Catherine.
Thank you.
That was more than a donut mouthful. Did I say something?
I just want to say thank you. I am truly honored, and I certainly could not have done this without my staff at the Belmont Bakery and, of course, the patience of my family with all our crazy hours at the bakery. But thank you very much. We are truly honored. Thank you.
All right, next are two gentlemen who are certainly business owners in the great county of Passaic, but they are really more than that as well. They are invested in the county of Passaic, and it's my honor to call upon Freeholder Lepore to make the presentation to Mountain Development Corporation. And we have Mr. Bob Lieb and Mr. Michael Sieve here this evening to receive the award.
Hello, Bob. Hello, Michael. I have the great pleasure of not only presenting this award, but someone that I can honestly say can be called friend and call them friends. We first met when I was a former mayor of Woodland Park, then West Patterson, and we just hit it off right off the bat. And I became a better mayor for knowing Bob and Michael, and I used them as a template for encouraging business in Woodland Park and in Passaic County. They have a lot of interest in Woodland Park and also Clifton, among other places. Tony hit it right on the head that they are a valuable asset to the county, beside being just two wonderful, wonderful people. So without further ado, I gotta take this off to read this. You didn't bring donuts, did you? No, I didn't. Passaic County Board of Chosen Freeholders is committed to maintaining and improving
the quality of life for its business community, ensuring access to capital, excellent transportation routes, and an educated, skilled labor force. This board is particularly proud of the business community and its accomplishments, and as such desires to honor and promote Mountain Development Corporation. Mountain Development Corporation, which was founded in 1978, is a real estate management and development company. Its principals, Bob Lieb, chairman, Michael Sieve, president, have extensive experience in commercial and industrial real estate, primarily in the Northeast, as well as asset management. This company currently manages over 6 million square feet of office, retail, and industrial space. The management team of over 70 individuals is dedicated to professional excellence combined with a unique and effective management structure. Mountain Development, which owns and operates properties in Passaic County in the cities of Patterson and Clifton and the borough of Woodland Park, was originally founded to manage the real estate holdings of Bob Lieb, who has been an active real estate developer and investor in the tri-state area for over 4 decades. And the company was primarily involved in the development of suburban office buildings, but over the years, the projects begin to include urban property, with senior management realizing that a developer has a responsibility to give back something to the community in which it operates. It has acquired an office building in the city of Patterson, and its president joined with local officials and other property owners in creating the Downtown Patterson Special Improvement District, and Michael Sieve serves as its chairman. Mountain Development became involved in other projects, including the creation of the Journal Square Special Improvement District in Jersey City and the Bryant Park Restoration and Management Corporation in Manhattan. Mountain Development Corporation has demonstrated its commitment to the County of Passaic through the employment of local residents, the continued reinvestment in their company, and their strong leadership. And as my colleague likes to say, now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic that it hereby publicly presents the Passaic County Business Appreciation Award to Mountain Development Corporation for its continued commitment to the community, and be it further proclaimed that this board extends its sincere best wishes to Mountain Development Corp. For its continued success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Freehold Director, all the freeholders, my good friend, Mr. DeNova. It seems like just yesterday we started to build a little building up on Garrett Mountain, and you're right, it was 40-some-odd years ago. And I have competent and very able help here because Michael is now our president and runs it, and we're just delighted with all the efforts. I'm happy to also mention to you, it's not here, but Michael was recently nominated and confirmed as a trustee of William Patterson University, further cementing our connections and our ties. So we support you, Mr. Freehold Director. We look forward to working continually with you and with the entire board. And with Pat and Mike, you want to add a few words?
Well, you know, only that we've been doing business in Passaic County for a long time, and it's an outstanding county. We've been able to attract some great companies, global companies, that could do business anywhere in the world, and they've chosen to do business here. We're, of course, gratified by it, but as much so that we've had the opportunity to do business in such a tremendous county. So we appreciate all the cooperation and the courtesies which have been extended to us over time and over the years, both by the professional staff and the elected staff in the county. We recognize it, and we look forward to doing more business together going forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to do a picture together with all.
And finally, our last business, Century Bathworks, located also in Woodland Park, and I understand on behalf of their president, Michael McMillan, we have Mr. Ray Barker here. Can we accept the award? Ray?
All right. Good evening. It is my pleasure to present this Business Appreciation Award on behalf of the Passaic County Board of Chosen Freeholders, and now this is the whereas part. Whereas the Passaic County Board of Chosen Freeholders is committed to maintaining and improving the quality of life for its business community, ensuring access to capital, excellent transportation routes, and an educated, skilled labor force. And whereas this board is particularly proud of its business community and its accomplishments, and as such desires to honor and promote Century Bathworks, Inc. And whereas Century Bathworks got its start in Patterson in 1946 as Century Shower Enclosure Company. It was owned by Mike Sekdish and occupied 5,000 square feet of space, offering 3 basic models. And whereas in 1980, Michael McMillan purchased Century Shower Enclosure Company, he served as its president and changed the company name to Century Shower Door. He implemented the slogan, "The Innovators," which set the stage for a dramatic expansion program. In less than 3 years, the company moved to Woodland Park and occupied 17,000 square feet of space. The company acquired Screens and Fabricated Metals, a manufacturer of screens and mirrored closet doors, in 1987, and it now occupies, and it's not a typo here, 122,000 square feet of manufacturing facility with a staff that has grown from 17 employees in 1980 to 100 employees today. And whereas Century's early prime markets were New Jersey, New York, and New England, later expansion included the addition of its distribution warehouse in Beltsville, Maryland in 1988, allowing distribution along most of the eastern United States, and an additional warehouse in Bensenville, Illinois in 1994 to better serve the areas west of New Jersey. The areas west of New Jersey? That's a lot. The company uses its own fleet of trucks as well as common carriers for more distant shipments. And whereas Century has adapted to a high-end market while maintaining the most extensive line of shower enclosures and a customer base of over 2,000 active accounts, it was the first to offer a sleek European frameless sliding door to the American market. Its upscale Glass Tech series was introduced in 1990, offering fully frameless enclosures. It also bought the high-end framed brass line series, offering the richness of solid brass and heavy gauge framed enclosures in 1990, and the Centec series semi-frameless hinge models were added in 1997. Now, do you do those big jacuzzi tubs?
No, we don't.
Oh, I love those.
Sorry.
Regardless, whereas Century Shower Door changed its name to Century Bathworks, Inc. in 2003, anticipating the expansion of its product line, so maybe someday.
Oh, tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. I like this guy. And the innovation has continued with the addition of Century top-quality, installer-friendly medicine cabinets in 2006. And whereas Century Bathworks, Inc. has demonstrated its commitment to the County of Passaic through the employment of local residents, the continued reinvestment in their company, and their strong leadership in our community, now therefore be it proclaimed, as Terry likes to say, by the Board of Chosen Freeholders that it hereby publicly presents the Passaic County Business Appreciation Award to Century Bathworks, Inc. for its continued commitment to the community, and be it further proclaimed that this board extends its sincere best wishes to Century Bathworks, Inc. for continued success. Thank you.
Thank you. I really didn't have much to do with any of this, but if our owner, Mike McMillan, could be here, I'm sure he would tell everybody how honored he is and how appreciative of Passaic County and the freeholders that he is. Thank you very much.
I ask all the business owners to come forward for a picture.
I thought you were going to bring a shower. I took a shower.
I can't get it.
Good night, thank you.
Before we continue, I just want to share, regarding the Passaic County Business Appreciation Awards, we really want to acknowledge Deborah Hoffman. Every meeting, we're always so pleasantly surprised with the quality of businesses that she brings forth, not because we don't think we have excellent businesses, but because every single meeting it seems that she outdoes herself. This board's initiative to acknowledge and recognize the businesses around the county of Passaic had specific goals. It was one, to acknowledge businesses that had long-standing commitments to contributing to the quality of life or the beautification of the county, as well as their charitable contributions or job training. And every single time we have businesses brought in, and we've gone throughout the county, we've had Clifton, Patterson, we're doing Haledon, North Haledon, all over, all 16 municipalities. Once again, I'll reiterate, Deborah, you're doing an excellent job bringing these businesses forward, and we just thank you for all your hard work, and thank you to the businesses that came to be with us tonight. Thank you very much. Also, just a brief point. I once again want to thank Nelson Rodriguez, the Assistant Director of the Upward Bound Project, for bringing to our attention these 21 students. Something that I want to share, and I know that we have a representative from our NJEA, Ms. Sandy Lazaro, you'll appreciate this. We actually had 2 graduates going to Ivy League schools as well, right? I believe it was Columbia and Princeton. Freeholder Bartlett, you've heard of. Yes.
I think I've heard of those.
We have a little joke. He has a rivalry with them. He graduated, obviously, from Harvard, and we shared that earlier, but we're so proud of every one of the students, and just thank you for being with us. And then, Mr. Kershaw Jahul, your video, I think perhaps we may have failed to share with all of you that the video contest was a limit of 3 minutes on YouTube to put up for this contest, recognizing the importance of the Magna Carta. And one of the things that we really want to point out, and just thank you for the efforts that you and the other students had in this participation, was this very delicate and I guess vulnerable parchment holds principles that are strong and supposed to be everlasting, and obviously we secure them, but these principles are only as good as we are willing to preserve them, right? Not the paper, but I mean the actual principles. But we thank you for your efforts in putting them in this digital age where we can utilize social media. The fact that you put this on YouTube actually goes far beyond just winning the contest, but rather gives an opportunity for young people to continue to learn the value of this. So we thank you very much, sir. And now we're moving on to a great portion of this agenda with Freeholder Bartlett.
Thank you very much, Director. I think we should get Kershaw next to do a 3-minute video explaining what freeholders are.
That would be great.
We've got a brochure, but I think a 3-minute video would be a terrific start. And it's terrific to have you here, Kershaw, as well. I'm here, and if those of you who have been waiting for the moment to open this, this is that moment. This is our annual celebration of Asian Pacific American Heritage Month, which is recognized around the nation each May, and is our opportunity each year to recognize members of our community who have done extraordinary things and who are part of the extraordinary legacy of Asians in America. We're not going to quite follow the program here, but I am going to start out by asking our most recently elected Asian American elected official, the Honorable Tasina Ahmed, Councilwoman from the Borough of Haledon, to stand with all of us and lead us in the flag salute.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tasina, stay a minute. We are, there is of course the national story of Asian Pacific American heritage, but I want to point out that here in Passaic County we have some very special things to boast when it comes to our Asian American community, and Tasina is one of those. There are 3 Bangladeshi Americans elected to public office in the United States of America. All 3 of them are in New Jersey, and 2 of them are here in Passaic County. Councilman Muhammad Akhtaruzzaman of Patterson and Councilwoman Ahmed from Haledon, who is the first Bangladeshi American woman elected to public office in the United States of America. So, thank you. Yes, well, Yes, you can, unless you can dance, because unfortunately our dance performer, Marsha Chowdhury, was not able to make it here due to traffic. But I'm not going to volunteer you for that at the last minute. But thank you for all your help and participation in making this day's program come together. So without the cultural program, I am going to reorganize a little bit. I'll say a few words, and then I want to introduce our honoree. Of all the months that we get to celebrate here in Passaic County, this one covers the most territory, all the way from Kazakhstan to Guam, from the two most populous countries in the world, China and India, to 1,000 or more tiny islands, including nations with populations smaller than the city of Clifton. The Asian American population has been growing dramatically since 1965, but that's not the beginning of the Asian American story. Asian Americans have been part of the American story since the 18th century, from Filipino sailors who settled in Louisiana, contributing to its unique culture and cuisine, to Chinese and others who immigrated to participate in the California Gold Rush and the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad, to Indians and Japanese who have been part of America's agricultural story in the 19th century, particularly in the Southwest, and to the large number of professionals who arrived in the U.S. after the 1965 immigration reforms finally reopened the door that America had closed in 1924, and many, many others. Their story is part of our social history, our economic history, and our legal history. And across our region here in northern New Jersey today, Asian Americans are part of that tapestry and part of that rich history and bright future that used to be on a banner right there. There you go. Thank you. I've given one example, actually two examples, in Councilwoman Ahmed and Councilman Akhtaruzaman, but also Aziz Rahman serves on our Passaic County Board of Social Services. Nitin Shukla, who's here with us, serves on our Passaic County Community College Board of Trustees. Mukesh Mehta is a community leader along with Yogesh. Khyati Joshi, Dr. Khyati Joshi from Wayne, is co-chair of the Democratic State Committee South Asian Caucus. That is part of, it's okay, you can applaud that. That is organizing that community and raising its voice in the area of public policy. The growth and importance of Asian American communities are being recognized in scholarship. The Pew Research Centers have published 2 major studies on Asian Americans in the past year, and in addition to Christmas and Thanksgiving and pardoning turkeys and all of that, the White House also now celebrates Diwali and Eid and Vaisakhi and other holidays that came to this country as part of our Asian American immigration. But particularly this year, as we mark 50 years since the passage of the Immigration Reform Act of 1965, it's most important to pause and remark on the thousands of small, local, yet significant and lasting ways in which individual Asian Americans are building businesses, social networks, and communities of faith, and helping each other and their children and their grandchildren thrive as Americans while remaining connected to the long and majestic histories of the cultures of the countries that they left behind. And with that in mind, I would like to invite to join me at the podium Mr. Navneet Vora. I call him Navneet Uncle, so if I do that by accident, that's why. Navneet Uncle, I'm going to read the proclamation where we recognize you. And I have to tell you, we've had some wonderful stories here of businesses and of students. This one stretches way back into history and is continuing, and I love it. Whereas the month of May has been designated as Asian Pacific American Heritage Month in recognition of the outstanding achievements and contributions made to the United States by immigrants from Asia and the Pacific Islands and their descendants. The Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic deems it fitting and appropriate at this time to honor and recognize Navneet Vora of Wayne. And whereas Navneet Vora was born in Petlad, Gujarat, in the British colony of India in 1927, and served as a leader of his high school student union during the student strikes of 1942, part of the Indian movement for independence which culminated in the founding of the Republic of India in 1947. And whereas Navneet Vora married Miss Dharmishta Bhatt in 1946, and studied science and engineering at Bombay University and Baroda College before earning a professional degree in law in 1956 and later a degree in social work in 1958 from Bombay University. And whereas Mr. Vora went on to become a textile mill manager and an attorney and became an organizer and leader of his professional colleagues in the city of Bhavnagar, Saurashtra, where he founded the Bhavnagar District Shops, Industrial and Commercial Establishments Employers Association and the Labor Laws Practitioners Association. And whereas Mr. Vora also pursued religious studies from the age of 7, studying many Hindu holy scriptures, including the Yajur and Samavedas, and the Kaumadi, Hitopadesha, and Panchtantra, and as an adult has continued to perform marriages and other Hindu rites for individuals and families, and engaged in charitable work with the Brahmin community in his hometown of Petlad. And whereas in addition to raising their own 3 children, Ashok, Amal, and Charu, Navnik and Dharmishtra Bhatt provided support for their 2 widowed sisters and their 9 children. And whereas Mr. and Mrs. Vora immigrated to the United States in 1996 to reside in Wayne with their son Amal and his family, and whereas Mr. Vora founded the Indian Cultural Society in Wayne, which purchased its land on Preakness Avenue to found a Hindu temple, where Mr. Vora served as the priest for 3 years, and later, with support from a donor, built the Mahatma Gandhi Center and Hindu Temple, which opened on the site in 2007. And whereas Mr. Vora also founded the Indian Senior Citizens Association of Wayne and served as its president, organizing trips to temples and historic sites, lectures from noted scholars and religious figures, and cultural programs for older Indian Americans in the Passaic County area. And whereas Mr. Vora remains active in the community, including as a writer on community issues, religious ethics, and scripture for 3 Gujarati language newspapers. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic that it hereby publicly recognizes and applauds Navneet Vora for the exemplary service he has unselfishly devoted to the many communities he has called home, and for his significant contributions to Passaic County in particular. And be it further proclaimed that this board extends its sincere best wishes to him for his continued health, happiness, and success in all of his future endeavors.
Good evening, everybody. Mr. John spoke very high of me. After every success, there is always contribution, cooperation, help from friends, philosophers, and other society people, and especially grace of God. I am from India. India has got its own problems: population, illiteracy, unemployment, and poverty. So there is ample opportunity in India. And right from beginning, we have experienced poverty and all these things. So right from beginning, we have tried to see that we can do something for the society. When I came over here, I also found that there are some opportunities, some chances to do some work for the society. And in Wayne, we started India Cultural Society. So we are doing all cultural activities, and we started one Hindu temple with Hindu people believe in all number of gods and goddesses. Indians believe in number of gods and goddesses. So we have to, in our temple, we have got all sorts of gods and goddesses, especially I believe in Lord Shiva. So I have named my Lord as Veneshwar. Ishwar means God of Vain. Thus, we are trying to give, we are trying to help, we are trying to contribute as far as we can do for the society. I am highly obliged for all the freeholders to honor me in places of such all dignitaries, and I am very thankful, and this is a very remarkable, this is a very prestigious day, especially for me. I cannot forget this day, 26th of May. It is a prestigious golden day in my life I will ever remember, and I am very much thankful to all freeholders. And John has spoken very high of me, whether I don't know whether I am fit for it, but anyway, I have got a respect for him, I have got respect for his wife, and I love him, John family. Thank you very much. Very kind of you.
Let's gather for a picture. That, in fact, concludes our Asian Pacific American History Month for this year, and I'm so glad that so many of you could be here. Thank you, Judge Jacobs, also for attending, and everyone who could be here, so thank you. Oh, I forgot to mention Shivani Gora, who is graduating from Wayne Valley. She just got her Gold Award and got a proclamation for that.
One shot. Nobody closed their eyes for her.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Good job. Congratulations.
Director, that concludes my portion of the conference agenda.
Thank you. I also want to thank Freeholder John Bartlett, who actually initiated this recognition. And before we move forward, I just want to recognize and welcome Councilman from the city of Clifton, Mr. Joe Capoli. Councilman Capoli, thank you for being with us, visiting for this program. Moving forward on the agenda, we're going to do a review of agenda items K1 through K26. Are there any questions? County Council's report, are there any late starters?
Yes, Director. Through you to the board, we have 3 late starters. The first of which will be K, excuse me, 27, which is a resolution authorizing acceptance of a $7,601 grant from the State of New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety under the 2015 Law Enforcement Officers Training and Equipment Fund Grant Program, Part 2, for grant period November 1, 2014 through February 28, 2015. The second late starter, Director, through you to the board, is K28, which is a resolution authorizing the purchase of a 1-year service agreement with Smith's Detection, Inc. through the state contracting law. That is for $24,342. And finally, our final late starter, Director, through you to the board, is K29, which is a resolution authorizing purchase of software and support services from Porter Lee Corporation in the amount of $15,617.50. That's all I have, Director. There's no need for a closed session.
Are there any questions? Discussions? No questions or discussions? I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Deputy Director Bruce James. Second. Seconded by Freeholder John Bartlett. Roll call.
Freeholders Bartlett. Best.
Yes.
Catronio. Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James. Director Laura.
Yes. All right. Before we move on to our regular meeting, I'm going to actually call for a 3-minute break. Just a 3-minute break before we gather together and continue the regular meeting. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to our Passaic County Board of Chosen Freeholder meeting this Tuesday, May 26, 2015. We're going to begin by calling upon the clerk of the board to read the announcement of the open public meeting law.
Ladies and gentlemen, the notice requirement of the Open Public Meetings Law has been satisfied with respect to this meeting specifying the time, date, and location, including the annual notice adopted in the reorganization meeting filed with the county clerk, posted in the administration building, and mailed to 2 newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the law.
I have a roll call.
Freeholders Bartlett.
Here.
Best. Here. Catronio.
Yes.
Duffy. Here. Lepore.
Here.
Deputy Director James.
Here.
Director Laura.
I ask for everyone to please rise for the invocation, remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, as well as a moment of silence to remember all the men and women who have died while serving in the United States Armed Forces, as well as we will be remembering James V. Segreto, our former county council who recently passed away. Freeholder Duffy, if you can please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Be my pleasure.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bow your heads. Blessed are you, O Lord, King of the universe, creator of heaven and earth. We thank you for this opportunity where we once again may come together to do the business of the county of Passaic. We thank you for those that we have honored and recognized this evening, including the members of the South Asian community, Lord, as well as the students and all of the young people that participated. We ask that you would guide the decisions and work that we do today to be in the best interest of all the residents of the county of Passaic, as well as those things that would honor you that we would always do. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
You can remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the minutes of our meeting held on May 12th, 2015.
So moved.
Moved by Freeholder Best, seconded by Deputy Director Bruce James. May I have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Catronio.
Abstain.
Duffy.
Abstain.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Laura.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve all of the proclamations as noted on the agenda?
Make that motion.
Motion made by Freeholder Duffy, seconded by Freeholder Lepore. Have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Catronio.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Laura.
Yes. So I invite any of my colleagues if they have any freeholder reports. If not, suspend freeholder reports. No communications. Move on to the oral portion. I ask for a motion to open the public portion of our meeting.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Director Bruce James, seconded by Freeholder Duffy. Roll call.
Freeholders Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Catronio.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Laura.
Yes. This moment I would like to invite any member of the public to please come up if you have any questions, comments that you would like to share with the board. I remind you that you have 3 minutes, and everything that you state will be a matter of public record. At the end of the open public portion, we will respond to any questions. Please come up, state your name and address. Yes. You have 3 minutes. Take.
There's 2 left.
I'll bring you a donut.
Good evening. My name is Barbara McGurk, and I reside in the town of Hawthorne. And this is my husband.
Ed McGurk.
And we are here today because we have, first of all, we'd like to thank you for the tremendous improvement that's been done to our park, Gulfbrook Park. We have loved Gulfbrook Park for our whole life, and we are fortunate to live near there. And now that we're getting older, we walk for health reasons, and so we walk the park every single day. And with our 2 dogs and our grandson most of the time, and we just love it. But as having a master's degree in biology, my bachelor's and my master's are both from Montclair State, and I taught in New Jersey Public Schools, taught biology and chemistry for 32 years. I have been somewhat concerned about what's happening to the trees and plants that have been put there. You know that last summer was extremely hot, And this year, we've had very little rain. And I watch as new plantings are put in, and I watch them die. And every time I go to the park, I see these plants begging for water. And they can't make food. They can't survive without it. The ground is dry. Many of them are in the baking sun on hillsides. And there's no water. So I have called. And I said, could someone tell me why we can't, when you plant new plants, I'm also an avid gardener, you have to water them, especially in the beginning, and they have to get established. And I'm watching these plants turn from being beautiful to being less beautiful and dying. I do have pictures on my cell phone. And I've called, and I've called, and I've called, and I've called. And since Downs, who I found out is in charge of the maintenance portion of the park, is in Hawthorne, I even went to them and I said, can you please come and water our plants? They need water desperately. And it wasn't until last fall, like in September, that water bags were put on some of the trees that were almost dead. And I was told, well, they have to be replaced if they die. And my question was, well, who's keeping track of the ones that are the first year, the ones that have been there for 2 years, the ones that are going to be new next year? I don't see any tags on the plants. There was a grouping of rhododendrons. I think there were 60-some rhododendrons. I think 29 of them died. That same exact bed, about the same number have died again because they are not being watered. And I have done everything. I have spoken, called the county parks. I have talked to the engineers. I have begged for someone to please help us out. And I'm coming to you because I don't know where else to go. They did some plantings to stop the paths from being washed away by the rains, and they did that maybe last August.
To no avail.
And, it helped a little bit, but we still have, and I know it's a trial and error, they're learning, but these plants are dying. Beautiful, beautiful Fothingia, beautiful variegated hollies, beautiful azaleas, they're all dying because they're on a hill and they're baking in the sun. And the other thing I'd like to ask you is that we've been in the park for 40 years, and a lot of the large trees that shaded our park, of course, got old and diseased and they were taken down. But if there's some way that we can get some larger trees, because I know it's really a good thing to plant small trees, but in my lifetime I'm never going to see them get big. But some of the paths are in the sun. And when you're walking the park and you have a stretch where there isn't a shady bench, any shade, it's very, very difficult. And I would like to see if we could get some larger trees planted along the path where it is very sunny so that we do have some relief. I'm here not to get anyone in trouble, not to point fingers, but because we love the park. I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Sorry.
I'm sorry, your time was ending. I just wanted to remind you.
I didn't know we had time limit.
I think, in conclusion, we would like to invite you individually to come into Golfbrook Park and walk the paths and see the amount of plants that have not made it. We understand it's grant money. It was grant money that refurbished the park, so it's really, quote-unquote, not taxpayers' money, but it's now becoming taxpayers' money. And it's a shame what is happening. The neglect is
It's a shame to see good plants just dying when, they'll be
Ma'am, I'm
replaced.
sorry to interrupt. Your 3 minutes are up. I understand if the gentleman begins, I'm sorry, if you just state your name.
I get 3 minutes, okay. I will acquiesce and give my wife the 3 minutes.
I'm sorry.
I can't do that? Okay. I would like to just reiterate what she has said in a sense. I'm not an avid gardener, but I can tell a dead plant from a live plant. I can tell an empty water bag from a filled water bag. I deal with the frustration of calling the people who are supposedly in charge of the oversight of this beautiful park and the reconstruction of this beautiful park, who express their frustrations back to us over there's nothing that we can do. I'm sorry. I think there is. And I think the ongoing maintenance program, which allegedly has been signed for a 3-year program after the reconstruction is finished, starts when? When the last plant is replaced We've asked the park attendants for their assistance in monitoring. We've asked the park commission for their assistance in monitoring the health and well-being of these plants and of the maintenance of the park. The gravel paths in a heavy rainstorm have been washed away. They come in, they try to fix them. Heavy rains, they wash away. And now I'm contradicting myself because of lack of water and heavy rains, but when we get the rain, there's nothing to prevent the runoff from occurring. We're coming to you as the government of Passaic County, the overseers of the commissions within Passaic County, to look into what's happening at Gophelbrook Park. And the maintenance and the upkeep, and where is the money being spent and where is it going. There is no master plan that we've made aware of that anyone in the Park Commission knows that this plant was planted in 2011, this one was in 2013, and the 2011 was replaced in 2015. So please, walk the park and see what we see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the dais? Thank you, sir. Please state your name, address.
Yes, good evening. Sammy Merhay from Ottawa. Question is in two parts. Could you please enlighten us as to what happened to 317 Pennsylvania Avenue building owned by the county? We were told that it was for sale and then the deal fell off, and I have a follow-up question.
All questions will be answered at the end of the public portion.
If this building is for sale, my question is, why don't you spend the money that you're spending on renting other people's property to rehab this building and move your departments to it so we don't have to pay any more rentals of taxpayers' money? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else who would like to address?
Seeing no one at the podium, I move to close the public portion. Second.
Second.
I have a motion made to close the public portion by Freeholder Duffy, seconded by Freeholder Petronio. May I have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Petronio.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Law.
Yes. I'm sorry. Ma'am, please forgive me. I didn't get your name when you initially stated it.
McGurk.
Barbara McGurk. Mrs. Thank you very much. As to the invitation, I am going to ask that if Lisa can please get the information from Mrs. McGirt so we can try to set up a date and see if that's possible for some of us to go out there. Obviously, it is a concern, and we want to look at any partnerships we can have with the community and see exactly what we can do from our part to assist. I mean, I think a community program, and this would just be my suggestion, but obviously we're open to communications and discussing it, but a community program where maybe you enlist the assistance of some of the students of the community to volunteer to go out and water. If they may, this would improve education, obviously, and do something practical, but outside of that, obviously, we need a plan, so we're willing to discuss. I'm not sure if anyone else has anything. Like,
Mr. and Mrs. McGurk, I just want to thank you
Freeholder
for...
Bartlett?
Oh, thank you, Director. I just want to thank you both for coming out and bringing this to our attention. I was in Hawthorne over the weekend. I'm there frequently, and we get wonderful feedback from people about the refurbishment of Gophelbrook Park. I'm alarmed and disappointed to hear what you're describing about the death of these plants. I don't pretend to have a green thumb like yours, Mrs. McGurk, but I do try and keep plants alive in my own yard. And you're absolutely right. Watering is essential. I don't know. You didn't specify exactly who you'd spoken to, but don't hesitate to reach out to myself or my freeholder colleagues. And you know, I'm personally going to look into this and try and learn more. Actually,
I'm sorry, the portion is over unless you're asked a question. I'm very sorry. It's just over.
Just hang around till after, ma'am, just hang around till after the meeting and we'll talk to you more.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to say thank you, because obviously, you know, we build something, we also need to maintain it. We improve something, we also need to be sure to maintain those improvements. So thank you very much for that. Mr. Murray, thank you for raising that question again, which I believe you raised when we were in Clifton last month. I think that was answered at the time, but I'm more than happy to defer to our to our county administrator for a more detailed response to your question.
Sure. Before we move on to that, I believe Freeholder Best, did you?
Just point at Tony.
Oh.
Yeah, if I could just clarify one thing, Mrs. McGurk, that Downs is completely responsible to replace the plants. So, again, we're not talking about any grant money or county funds that are do that. The 3-year maintenance bond doesn't start until we accept the project. We have not accepted the project yet. It is an ongoing issue that we are trying to get Downs to be responsive to. We will try to elevate that to a meeting, Steve, with Downs. They have been in there. I live in North Hill and I drive by Gulf Brook every day. I have seen their water truck in there, but clearly, you know, particularly we are in, I guess, a semi-drought right now. It is difficult to keep those plants alive. It was a difficult winter, but we will and continue to deal with Downs. But so that you know, the county is not responsible to replace any of those plants until we accept that project, and then 3 years beyond that, Downs is still responsible for the maintenance and the care of those plants. So it is frustrating in this, you know, in this very dry season to keep those plants alive. But we will do our best. It is something that we have been working on and working with Downs. But we will try to have a meeting with Downs and see if we can get them a little bit more responsive to get out there and water more. You shake your head no.
No, I understand, sir. Please stick around. I promise you have an opportunity to discuss this further, and you can leave your information. I believe Lisa will be available to take it, and we'll have someone reach out to you. It has to be a question, and again, I understand, listen, it's a frustration. It's just, this is the order of our meetings, and if we set a precedent here, we have to be consistent and allow every single person to go back. But please stick around. We'll be available for further discussion. Thank you, sir. Again, our administrator has a response.
Mr. Murray, I'm not aware of any deal that fell through, so I'm not sure. The answer to that is there was never a deal that was negotiated, or it's not technically for sale yet. We still have to empty it. We are doing, in essence, what you're asking us to do. We're going to consolidate all of our maintenance under one roof, which will obviously provide for better efficiencies for maintaining the county fleet. Listen, 20 years ago, however long this building is here, Pennsylvania Avenue was deemed to have outlived its useful life. To throw good money after bad seems to be a problem. I'm not sure what rentals you're talking about. The county does rent some buildings, but that's just the nature of the business. But Pennsylvania Avenue was supposed to be sold and decommissioned when this building was built 20 years ago, Steve? 20 years ago. It really, if you've been in there, if you've looked around, you'll see that to rehab that place would be throwing good money after bad. I don't know if there's anything else I can say about that.
Thank you, Mr. Administrator. Move forward. I know we have some late starters. I'm going to ask for a motion to add K27, K28, and K29. Moved by Deputy Director Bruce James. Second by Freeholder John Bartlett. Roll call.
Freeholders Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Petronio.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Laura.
Yes. May I have a motion to accept K1 through K29?
I'll move that.
Second. Moved by Deputy Director James, seconded by Freeholder. I'm sorry? Do we need to
No, that's fine.
do it now?
Just make,
Yep.
you're making a motion to accept the agenda as is?
Yes.
Now would be the time to make it.
I'm fine.
No?
You sure? I'm sorry, we have a possible amendment. Are you sure? All right.
Okay.
Continuing with the motion to accept the agenda, including K27, 28, and 29.
We did that.
We did that?
So we just need to do K1 through K29.
Okay.
And you have James as made the motion and Duffy seconded.
All right.
And so
Motion made by Deputy Director James, seconded by Freeholder Duffy. We have a roll call.
Okay. Freeholders Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Petronio.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Laura.
Yes. I have a motion to accept personnel.
I'll move personnel.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Director James, seconded by Freeholder Bartlett. Roll call.
Freeholders Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Petronio.
Yes.
Yes.
Duffy. Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Law.
Yes, may I have a motion?
I'll
to accept
move the bills list.
Bills list moved by Deputy Director James, seconded by Freeholder Bartlett. Roll call.
Freeholders Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Petronio.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Law.
Yes, I have a motion for the certification of
And I'll
payroll.
move the certification of payroll.
Second.
Certification of payroll moved by Deputy Director James, seconded by Freeholder Bartlett. Roll call.
Freeholders Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Petronio.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Law.
Yes, receipt of departmental reports.
Received and filed.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next meeting will be held here Tuesday, June 9th, 2015 at 5:30 p.m. Thank you very much. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Freeholder Duffy, second by Freeholder Cotroneo. Roll call.
Freeholders Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Cotroneo.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Law.
Yes.
TJ, what do you want, some front?
No.
See that small shape behind your stomach? That's your pancreas.
If you're anything like me, there's a pretty good chance you didn't even know it was there.
But all that changes when something goes wrong. Think about this. Pancreatic cancer is the fourth leading cause of cancer deaths in the United States.
More than 35,000 people will die from it this year.
The 5-year survival rate is only 5%.
Picture that. Walk into a room with 100 people. 5 years later, only 5 are left. That is a statistic you do not want to be a part of.
These are people just like you. People like my daughter, Bridget.
People like our mom. People like my husband, Andy.
People like Concha, my mom.
People like me.
Like me.
Know it, fight it, end it.
Go to pancan.org.